So to make
Okay.
everyone wait for that.
Oh,
And
no, no, that's
but
okay.
then,
So it
but
is,
that's the problem.
I see that it's showing that live button, right? So that means it's recording. Okay.
It
Right?
does? Okay, yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
it
I did not
shows that
observe.
live, yeah, that
So you
live button
know.
wasn't there. Yeah.
Okay, okay, yeah. Okay,
Perfect.
yeah. Let's start.
Okay.
Let's start.
Okay. I'll start. Okay. The three modalities of awakened doing. There are three ways in which consciousness can flow into what you do and thus through you into this world. Three modalities in which you can align your life with the creative power of the universe. Modality means the underlying energy frequency that flows into what you do and connects your actions with the awakened consciousness that is emerging into this world. What you do will be dysfunctional and of the ego unless it arises out of one of these three modalities. They may change during the course of a day, although one of them may be dominant during a certain stage in your life. Each modality is appropriate to certain situations. The modalities of awakened doing are acceptance, enjoyment, and enthusiasm. Each one represents a certain vibrational frequency of consciousness. You need to be vigilant to make sure that one of them operates whenever you are engaged in doing anything at all, from the most simple task to the most complex. If you are not in the state of either acceptance, enjoyment, or enthusiasm, look closely and you will find that you are creating sufferance for yourself and others. Wow. Acceptance. Whatever you cannot enjoy doing, you can at least accept that this is what you have to do. Acceptance means for now, this is what this situation, this moment requires me to do. And so I do it willingly. We already spoke at length about the importance of inner acceptance of what happens, and acceptance of what you have to do is just another aspect of it. For example, you probably won't be able to enjoy changing the flat tire on your car at night in the middle of nowhere and in pouring rain, let alone be enthusiastic about it. But you can bring acceptance to it. Performing an action in the state of acceptance means you are at peace while you do it. That peace is a subtle energy vibration which then flows into what you do. On the surface, acceptance looks like a passive state, but in reality, it is active and creative because it brings something entirely new into this world. That peace, that subtle energy vibration, is consciousness. And one of the ways in which it enters this world is through surrendered action, one aspect of which is acceptance. If you can neither enjoy or bring acceptance to what you do, stop. Otherwise, you are not taking responsibility for the only thing you can really take responsibility for, which also happens to be one thing that really matters, your state of consciousness. And if you are not taking responsibility for your state of consciousness, you're not taking responsibility for life. Enjoyment. The peace that comes with surrendered action turns to a sense of aliveness when you actually enjoy what you are doing. Enjoyment is the second modality of awakened doing. On the new earth, enjoyment will replace wanting as the motivating power behind people's actions. Wanting arises from the ego's delusion that you are a separate fragment that is disconnected from the power that lies behind all creation. Through enjoyment, you link into that universal creative power itself. When you make the present moment instead of past and future the focal point of your life, your ability to enjoy what you do With it, the quality of your life increases dramatically. Joy is the dynamic aspect of being. When the creative power of universe becomes conscious of itself, it manifests as joy. You don't have to wait for something meaningful to come into your life so that you can finally enjoy what you do. There is more meaning in joy than you will ever need. The waiting to start living syndrome is one of the most common delusions of the unconscious state. Expansion and positive change on the outer level is much more likely to come into your life if you can enjoy what you are doing already instead of waiting for some change so that you can start enjoying what you do. Don't ask your mind for permission to enjoy what you do. All you will get is plenty of reasons why you can't enjoy it. Not now, the mind will say. Can't you see I'm busy? There is no time. Maybe tomorrow you can start enjoying. That tomorrow will never come unless you begin enjoying what you are doing now. When you say, I enjoy doing this or that, it is really a misperception. It makes it appear that the joy comes from what you do. But that is not the case. Joy does not come from what you do, it flows into what you do and thus into this world from deep within you. Wow, I'm going to repeat this. When you say, I enjoy doing this or that, it is really a misperception. It makes it appear that the joy comes from what you do, but that is not the case. Joy does not come from what you do, it flows into what you do and thus into this world from deep within you. The misperception that joy comes from what you do is normal, and it is also dangerous because it creates the belief that joy is something that can be derived from something else, such as an activity or thing. You then look into into the world to bring you joy, happiness, but it cannot do that. This is why many people live in constant frustration. The world is not giving them what they think they need. Then, what is the relationship between something that you do and the state of joy? You will enjoy any activity in which you are fully present, any activity that is not just a means to an end. It isn't the action you perform that you really enjoy, but the deep sense of aliveness that flows into it. That aliveness is one with who you are. This means that when you enjoy doing something, you are really experiencing the joy of being in its dynamic aspect. That's why anything you do, that's why anything you enjoy doing connects you with the power behind all creation. Here is a spiritual practice that will bring empowerment and creative expansion into your life. Make a list of number of everyday routine activities that you perform frequently. Include activities that you may consider uninteresting, boring, tedious, irritating, or stressful. But don't include anything that you hate or detest doing. That's a case either for acceptance or for stopping what you do. The list may include traveling to and from work, buying groceries, doing your laundry, anything that you find tedious or stressful in your daily work. Then, whenever you are engaged in those activities, let them be a vehicle for alertness. Be absolutely present in what you do and sense the alert, alive stillness within you in the background of the activity. You will soon find that what you do in such a state of heightened awareness, instead of being stressful, tedious, or irritating, is actually becoming enjoyable. To be more precise, what you are enjoying is not really the outward action, but the inner dimension of consciousness that flows into the action. Wow, this is so beautifully explained. This is finding the joy of being in what you are doing. If you feel your life lacks significance or is too stressful or tedious, it is because you haven't brought that dimension into your life yet. Being conscious in what you do has not yet become your main aim. The new earth arises as more and more people discover that their main purpose in life is to bring the light of consciousness into this world and so use whatever they do as a vehicle for consciousness. The joy of being is the joy of being conscious. Awakened consciousness then takes over from ego and begins to run your life. You may then find an activity that you have been engaged in for a long time naturally begins to expand into something much bigger when it becomes empowered by consciousness. Some of those people who, through creative action, enrich the lives of many others simply do what they enjoy doing most without wanting to achieve or become anything through that activity. They may be musicians, artists, writers, scientists, teachers, or builders, or they may bring into manifestation new social or business structures, enlightened businesses. Sometimes, for a few years, their sphere of influence remains small. And then it can happen suddenly or gradually, a wave of creative empowerment flows into what they do, and their activity expands beyond anything they could have imagined and touches countless others. In addition to enjoyment, an intensity is now added to what they do, and with it comes a creativity that goes beyond anything an ordinary human could accomplish. But don't let it go to your head, because up there is where a remnant of ego may be hiding. You are still an ordinary human. What is extraordinary is what comes through you into this world, but that essence you share with all beings. The 14th century Persian poet and Sufi master Hafiz expresses this truth beautifully. I am a hole in a flute that the Christ's breath moves through. Listen to this music. Wow. Okay, are there any names? Does anyone want to read? Or I can continue, but I just wanted to make sure.
No, there are no names as of now. I think you can continue for a while, and if anyone wants to read, they'll just write the name and then we can handle it.
Okay, okay, sounds good. All right, enthusiasm. Then there is another way of creative manifestation that may come to those who remain true to their inner purpose of awakening. Suddenly, one day, they know what their outer purpose is. They have a great vision, a goal, and from then on, they work toward implementing that goal. Their goal or vision is usually connected in some way to something that, on a smaller scale, they are doing and enjoy doing already. This is where the third modality of awakened doing arises: enthusiasm. Enthusiasm means there is deep enjoyment in what you do, plus the added element of a goal or a vision that you work toward. When you add a goal to the enjoyment of what you do, the energy field or vibrational frequency changes. A certain degree of what we might call structural tension is now added to enjoyment. And so it turns into enthusiasm. At the height of creative activity, fueled by enthusiasm, there will be enormous intensity and energy behind what you do. You will feel like an arrow that is moving toward the target and enjoying the journey. To an onlooker, it may appear that you are under stress, but the intensity of enthusiasm has nothing to do with stress. When you want to arrive at your goal more than you want to be doing what you are doing, you become stressed. The balance between enjoyment and structural tension is lost, and the latter has won. When there is stress, it is usually a sign that the ego has returned. and you are cutting yourself off from the creative power of the universe. Instead, there is only the force and strain of egoic wanting, and so you have to struggle and work hard to make it. Stress always diminishes both the quality and effectiveness of what you do under its influence. There is also a strong link between stress and negative emotions, such as anxiety and anger. It is toxic to the body and is now becoming recognized as one of the main causes of the so called degenerative diseases, such as cancer and heart disease. Unlike stress, enthusiasm has a high energy frequency and so resonates with the creative power of the universe. This is why Ralph Waldo Emerson said that nothing great has ever been achieved without enthusiasm. The word enthusiasm comes from an ancient Greek en and theos, meaning God, and the related word enthusiasm means to be possessed by God. With enthusiasm, you will feel that you don't have to do it all by yourself. In fact, there is nothing of significance that you can do by yourself. Sustained enthusiasm brings into existence a wave of creative energy, and all you have to do then is ride the wave. Enthusiasm brings an enormous empowerment into what you do so that all those who have not accessed that power would look upon your achievements in awe and may equate them with who you are. You, however, know the truth that Jesus pointed to when he said, I can of my own self do nothing. Unlike egoic wanting, which creates opposition in direct proportion to the intensity of its wanting, enthusiasm never opposes. It is non confrontational. Its activity does not create winners and losers. Wow. It is based on inclusion, not exclusion for others. It does not need to use and manipulate people because it is the power of creation itself, and so does not need to take energy from some secondary source. The ego's wanting always tries to take from something or someone. Enthusiasm gives out of its own abundance. Wow. When enthusiasm encounters obstacles in the form of adverse situations or uncooperative people, it never attacks but walks around them, or by yielding or embracing, turns the opposing energy into a helpful one, the foe into a friend. Enthusiasm and the ego cannot coexist. One implies the absence of the other. Enthusiasm knows where it is going, but at the same time, it is deeply at one with the present moment, the source of its aliveness, its joy, and its power. Enthusiasm wants nothing because it lacks nothing. Wow. Every word is like so profound. It is at one with life, and no matter how dynamic the enthusiasm inspired activities are, you don't lose yourself in them. And there remains always a still but intensely alive space at the center of the wheel, a core of peace in the midst of activity that is both the source of all and untouched by it all. I think I saw Suman, right? I think Suman put her name. Suman, do you want to continue from here? Because we are
Yeah,
only
yeah.
left with a couple of pages, I think. Yeah, so you have to start from through enthusiasm.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Through enthusiasm, you enter into full alignment with the outgoing creative principle of the universe, but without identifying with its creation, that is to say, without ego, where there is no identification, there is no attachment, one of the great sources of suffering. Once a wave of creative energy has passed, structural tension diminishes again and joy in what you are doing remains. Nobody can live in enthusiasm all the time. A new wave of creative energy may come later, and lead to renewed enthusiasm. When the return movement toward the dissolution of form sets in, enthusiasm no longer serves you. Enthusiasm belongs to the outgoing cycle of life. It is only through surrender that you can align yourself with the return movement, the journey home. To sum up, enjoyment of what you are doing combined with a goal or vision that you work toward becomes enthusiasm. Even though you have a goal, what you are doing in the present moment needs to remain the focal point of your attention. Otherwise, you will fall out of alignment with universal purpose. Make sure your vision or goal is not an inflated image of yourself and therefore a concealed form of ego, such as wanting to become a movie star, a famous writer, or a wealthy entrepreneur. Also, make sure your goal is not focused on having this or that, such as a mansion by the sea, your own company, or $10 million in the bank. An enlarged image of yourself or a vision of yourself having this or that are all static goals and therefore don't empower you. Instead, make sure your goals are dynamic. That is to say, point toward an activity that you are engaged in and through which you are connected to the other human beings as well as to the whole. Instead of seeing yourself as a famous actor and writer and so on, see yourself inspiring countless people with your work and enriching their lives. Feel how that activity enriches or deepens not only your life but that of countless others. Feel yourself being an opening through which energy flows from the unmanifested source of all life through you for the benefit of all. All this implies that your goal or vision is then already a reality within you on the level of mind and of feeling. Enthusiasm is the power that transfers the mental blueprint into the physical dimension. That is the creative use of mind, and that is why here is no wanting involved. You cannot manifest what you want. You can only manifest what you already have. You may get what you want through hard work and stress, but that is not the way of the new earth. Jesus gave the key to the creative use of mind and to the conscious manifestation of form when he said, whatever you ask in prayer, believe that you have received it and it will be yours. The frequency holders. The outward movement into form does not express itself with equal intensity in all people. Some feel a strong urge to build, create, become involved, achieve, make an impact upon the world. If they are unconscious, their ego will, of course, take over and use the energy of the outgoing cycle for its own purposes. This, however, also greatly reduces the flow of creative energy available to them, and increasingly they need to rely on efforting to get what they want. If they are conscious, those people in whom the outward movement is strong will be highly creative. Others, after the natural expansion that comes with growing up has run its course, lead an outwardly unremarkable, seemingly more passive and relatively uneventful existence. They are more inward looking by nature, and for them, the outward movement into form is minimal. They would rather return home than go out. they have no desire to get strongly involved in or change the world. If they have any ambitions, they usually don't go beyond finding something to do that gives them a degree of independence. Some of them find it hard to fit into this world. Some are lucky enough to find a protective niche where they can lead a relatively sheltered life, a job that provides them with a regular income or a small business of their own. Some may feel drawn toward living in a spiritual community or monastery. Others may become dropouts and live on the margins of the society they feel they have little in common with. Some turn to drugs because they find living in this world too painful. Others eventually become healers or spiritual teachers. That is to say, teachers of being. In past ages, they would probably have been called contemplatives. There is no place for them, it seems, in our contemporary civilization. On the arising new earth, however, their role is just as vital as that of the creators, the doers, the reformers. Their function is to anchor the frequency of the new consciousness on this planet. I call them the frequency holders. They are here. They are here to generate consciousness through the activities of daily life, through their interactions with others, as well as through just being. In this way, they endow the seemingly insignificant with profound meaning. Their task is to bring spacious stillness into this world by being absolutely present in whatever they do. There is consciousness and therefore quality in what they do, even the simplest task. Their purpose is to do everything in a sacred manner, as each human being is an integral part of the collective human consciousness. They affect the world much more deeply than is visible on the surface of their lives. The new earth is no utopia. Is the notion of the new earth not just another utopian vision? Not at all. All utopian visions have this in common: the mental projection of a future time when all will be well, we will be saved, there will be peace and harmony, and the end of our problems. There have been many such utopian visions. Some ended in disappointment, others in disaster. At the core of all utopian visions lies one of the main structural dysfunctions of the old consciousness, looking to the future for salvation. The only existence the future actually has is as a thought form in your mind. So when you look to the future for salvation, you are unconsciously looking to your own mind for salvation. You are trapped in form, and that is ego. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, writes the biblical prophet. The foundation for a new earth is a new heaven, the awakened consciousness. The earth, external reality, is only its outer reflection. The arising of a new heaven and by implication a new earth are not future events that are going to make us free. Nothing is going to make us free because only the present moment can make us free. That realization is the awakening. Awakening as a future event has no meaning because awakening is the realization of presence. So, the new heaven, the awakened consciousness, is not a future stated to be achieved. A new heaven and a new earth are arising within you at this moment. And if they are not arising at this moment, they are no more than a thought in your head, and therefore not arising at all. What Jesus tell his disciples? Heaven is right here in the midst of you. In the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus makes a prediction that to this day few people have understood. He says, "Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth." Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. In modern versions of the Bible, meek is translated as humble. Who are the meek or the humble? And what does it mean that they shall inherit the earth? The meek are the egoless. They are those who have awakened to their essential true nature as consciousness and recognize that essence in all others, all life forms. They live in the surrendered state and so feel their oneness with the whole and the source. They embody the awakened consciousness that is changing all aspects of life on our planet, including nature, because life on earth is inseparable from the human consciousness that perceives and interacts with it. That is the sense in which the meek will inherit the earth. A new species is arising on the planet. It is arising now, and you are it. Yes, it's
Oh,
finished.
we come to the end of the book.
It
So I
was
just want to
wonderful.
Yeah, it was very deep actually. So today he touched more of a spiritual, like very much of a spiritual part of it. So few things just highlighted for me. So I would just share that, and we are all like open for discussion. But something that just popped up, so I just share, which is in alignment with what we read today. So during COVID times, and mostly like it's like even COVID happened because of this. If you have been exposed to like any of the spiritual channels or some people, so they do talk about it, that our earth is changing its dimension. So it does happen that in the past few decades, masculine energy on earth is too much of on a rise. So that's how patriotic societies and everything emerged. And so it's not, and when we talk about masculine energies, it's not just about men in general, it's about the masculine energy where women also started working, and we started giving more importance to money. And so he talked about the being and the doing part, right? So doing is a masculine energy and being is a feminine energy. So all of this has rise, so that has created some imbalance on the earth, because earth always likes balance. And so that's how it's changing its dimension. And now they say that now the feminine energy is going to rise. So that's how we see many people quitting their jobs, many people experiencing there's so many late job these things are happening. People are switching to their own things, like what they love to do and things like that. And all these things, this they say that there is a shift happening in the, and because the earth is changing its dimension, which happens like in like many thousands of years maybe. So we are in that phase right now where this spiritual evolution and things like that are going to happen. And it is also happening because of which, if we say, many people are actually, as it was written in the chapter today, now many people's awareness is getting, the consciousness is rising on an overall collective consciousness level, is what I have heard of. So that what resonated with me today when we read the part that the author has also mentioned. Again, the second thing I remember, I could relate with, like he's mentioning Christ obviously, but that heaven and the reflection of us, he said something, right? Like where he mentioned that a new earth will be like some it will be in heaven, it will be like a reflection of heaven or something like that. So that just made me remember, in Gita there is this one picture where it actually shows that actually the life that we live, or the materialistic life, or the life that we live on earth, is opposite of it's not the what we see and what we think as straight, like it's actually vice versa. It is actually a reflection of heaven, something like that. There is a picture like that. I have Gita with me, so I'll just try sharing that picture with you today. You just know what I'm talking about. So they show that when we go in the like when in the heaven or in the higher realms, it's basically it's actually the reflection of our world here on earth. So basically, as they say, right, like your outer world is a reflection of your inner world, and our inner world is actually is very much in connection with the higher purposes and all of that. So there is a realm and a world that is operational over there, which actually reflects, and we connect through that, and that's what whatever we bring through, that reflects in our outer world over here. So just trying to articulate and connect the dots, but just whatever just popped up for me, I just wanted to share with all of you. And yes, we are open for discussion. We might go a little longer today because it's like an overall book discussion, and we won't be talking more about it again. Like, so let's give full energy, involvement, and engagement and time to this today, and then we'll close on this book. And then on Monday, Tuesday onwards, maybe 2 3 days, Deepa will lead the Happiness Project August month, and then we can take a call about if we want to take a break for a while from reading, or do something else, and or we want to take, and even if we take a book next, like we will take very light or a different or a small kind of book, so that because these two books happened heavy now, like Power of Heart as well as New Earth, they were very deep and all. So let's not do something similar now. Let's try some new genre, or a very small kind of a book after that. So just announcing, and yeah, we are open for discussion. So feel free to share any insights, any biggest takeaways from the book. And in fact, how was it for you? What was your biggest takeaway? How has this book changed your perspective from what you already understood? I would insist, don't just share what you already know, but share your new learning from the book. Like what was new that came to you from this book, from this podcast, or whatever, through this experience that we went through, like for the last 2 3 weeks, because that helps like as an addition. Otherwise we keep repeating the same things again and again, emphasizing on them, actually showing that we are not open, or we are not unlearning anything. So when we are learning something, there is also a process of unlearning, right? Like we are also undoing from what we already know. Otherwise we will not evolve, we will only keep stuck in the same loop again and again. So just sharing, yeah. Feel free to share, everyone, please. Yeah.
Okay, can I go ahead? I had just few
Yeah.
shares.
Yeah, please, yeah, please go.
Okay, so just one or two lines that caught my attention today. I mean, although this book is so amazing that there are so many quote-worthy or underline-worthy lines and ideas, more importantly, but something that was like truly beautiful, like of course, the way he explains all the three modalities and how he gets into enthusiasm because it kind of layers up after enjoyment. So I thoroughly enjoyed that whole reading process of enthusiasm, and I could feel it because I was so involved in reading it, and I was like, I do feel this enthusiasm while reading it. So it was very profound, that experience. And one line that I really loved from today was it was on page, at least in the physical book that I have, it's page 305. It says, "You cannot manifest what you want. You can only manifest what you already have." This is like so beautifully explained, and it's the extension of the idea that I think the author also talks about in probably episode 5 or 6 of the Super Soul podcast that you have been sharing, Mansi. And in that one, he explains that what doesn't, like if there is a conflict in your outer world, it definitely means there is something inside you that is attracting that conflict. So these lines like really resonated with me. And as far as an experience is considered, being mindful of the time, and I want to listen to others' experiences also. But I do have one profound experience that I felt, and it's a change in me because I have read The Power of Now, but this book like took me a step further in, reminding myself that rather than treating it as an activity again, that, oh, I need to be in the present and blah, 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 and making it a to-do list item, it is more about just being, being in that space. And something very very amazing thing that happened. One of my friends, she's a newer friend of mine, and she's having some inner conflicts, and in that, like, she was probably not even sharing her true identity with me also, and it was about her sexual orientation as well. And I could sense that that this person is holding back something. And because of the dynamics of me also being a woman, there is also that protective part, right? That, oh my god, I don't want someone to think that I am open for some other kind of relations. So but I was just being mindful because I was aware that I don't want to create that fear or create that pain within me. So I was just there, I was just there. And a few things happened, and then finally this friend of mine, she did mention to me that, okay, and the truth did come out, and she was comfortable in letting me know that, okay, that she's even married, and is married with another woman. So it was a very sensitive information, and I understand that it was not about none of this was about that, oh, she should let me know. But the way, I could sense some fear in her, and that was manifesting as if, she's wanting to say something to me because maybe, she has some feelings for me. So that's why I was like a bit perturbed about it. But I made sure, because this book helped me to just stay in the present moment and not assume anything and not create any fear, because if I have that fear within me, it will come out. And then finally, when my friend did talk to me, and when I had a chance to tell her my side of things, I did tell her, because based on this experience, I could very easily tell her that if you are able, because she mentioned something that this has happened, this kind of misunderstanding has happened with a lot of her women friends because of her identity and whatnot, and people judge her, and she always loses friends. So I told her something, and I told her that it is coming from this book, so I'm not taking credit for it. But because she her fear is so big within her about her identity, or the conflict that she's having with her identity, that it is manifesting outside, right? And people who are actually very gracefully ready to accept, like I am gracefully able to accept, like I am not going to judge someone for their preferences and whatnot, right? As long as there is, everything ethical with me, like that relation is genuine. So I could explain it to her in very simple words, right? That because of that fear of hers, it manifested even with someone who is not actually against that idea, but because of how the conversations were happening. So this was a very profound experience for me, a very different kind of experience. And I think if I had not been part of this book's journey, this whole experience could have been a very bitter one, right? Or I might not have had this confidence of just being there, and not jumping to conclusions. And in that sense, I probably even helped another soul, and not taking the credit for it. It is all going towards, like, I think it was just flowing through me, right? Like how the author is explaining. And I just don't have words. Like I'm falling short of words. I hope I'm making sense with my share. But it was a very profound experience and a very different kind of experience. I've never had this kind of awakening or feeling. So yeah, that's all from me. Thank
I
you.
think I think that falls in the category of acceptance what we just read today. And maybe that is why we just felt like repeating it, maybe because it aligned with you in some way.
Yes, yes. Yeah, very true.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks for sharing and thanks for trusting the space to share that. So thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyone else? Anything that you would want to share from the book? Any aha moment? Any realization? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
Suman.
yeah. So reading this book has been really amazing for me also. So many pearls of wisdom uh, I got from here. Especially in my life, I can experience those also, especially the ego factor. That I was not aware of the definition of the ego in such a way, how beautifully it is described in this book. Now, in practically, if to say, I have become aware that when we have to be in surrender mode and how to recognize that the others deep layers of the ego that they are showing. A little bit awareness has come to me that how to read these things and how to be aware about these things. And Mansi, like you gave the example of Gita, that was of collective consciousness. So I was also resonating with that. We are, in fact, in this book also it is told that we are microcosmic reflection of the macrocosmic universe. And the transformation is the task that is allotted to us. And one line that appealed me, that is stress is the sign that ego has returned. And the three modalities that were described, that was acceptance, enjoyment, and enthusiasm. So these are the frequencies we have to be in. If we are in these states, then our vibrational frequency will be higher. Otherwise, it is sure that we will either be either be surrounded by ego or the stress, which leads to many diseases or negative emotions like cancer, it was told. And the utopian vision was told that there is no utopian vision in future itself, when all will be well, such sort of things. Only being in the present, the awakening, the realization of the present moment is all the utopia what we can have, what we can imagine only. That is the reality. Yeah, that's it.
Wow, so beautifully shared, Suman. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Very well articulated everything. So very nice. Thank you for that. And just like one more announcement, like for everyone, since we were talking about it in the beginning of the session today also and yesterday also. So we will be starting with the book The Power of Now, and I think the chapter also talks about presence. Suman also highlighted it right now. So it will help us get deeper into that. And as Shilpa also mentioned the other day, that that is a book that we should read first, and then but we will be reading it not like this, like meeting every day together and reading part and part. We will be reading it on our own so that we make the most of the book and experience it fully. And we'll just have a group as an accountability thing for it. And we will have some few days, like maybe 15 days, once in a 15-day, once in a fortnight, something like this. We'll have a meetup to discuss our learnings, to discuss our experiences. So that way we are going to we're thinking of going with the book. So do let me know whoever would be interested. We can add you, or I can share the link, and whoever is interested can join in with the reading, book reading. So yeah, that's just one more thing I wanted to share with everyone, and I feel it aligns very well with how the chapter has concluded also. So that will be a good part to start as of now. So yeah. Yeah. Anyone else who would like to share anything about the book, about their takeaways from the book? How has the book changed them from what they were before? What is it that you are able to unlearn or understand newly with the book? Anything from that context? Anyone who's not spoken, like, can please speak. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Good morning, all. My takeaway today's learning reading was that like every individual is a part of collective consciousness. So this statement makes it more. You can say uh, it makes it more louder that your own responsibility about yourself, about your purpose of life, your success of life. It is not limited to yourself, but is limited to the people around you, your family, your friend circle, your society, and the universe as a whole. And the beautiful part is that when you are working with that objective, that your responsibility is not about your own, but to the universe, your family, and society. Then it makes me look at the beautiful side of this, that when you start working on your goals, like forgetting the ego, and what is important and what is important to align with the purpose of life. And when you start working on that with that thing in mind, basically that collective consciousness will also support you in your goal, in your activity. So the beautiful part is that the obstacle become the way, the challenges become the way, right? So so the beautiful part from today is that our growth and responsibility is part of collective consciousness. And when we start taking action in the right direction, you know uh, the collective consciousness will support you. You will attract people, ideas, resources, opportunities, and all the other things, which will make you move in the direction of your dreams, direction of your goal. So the collective consciousness is always you know uh, ready to support you if you understand the intention, your true intention, forgetting the ego, and focusing on your true purpose of life. So that is a beautiful, learning about collective consciousness. Yeah. Just like, as the Rumi said, if you're looking for success, the success is also looking for you. So it's all about the right intention and the right action, and and believing in yourself, and believing in that collective consciousness, because this is what to is all that under strengthen your belief system, your thoughts, and everything, and all that will bring that into action. So the universe is always there to support you. You have to just believe in the collective consciousness and take action. Yeah, thank you.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, Manishi, very true. Yeah. Deepa, yes.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Uh, I've been on and off in this reading. Uh, so I just want to say that what other people shared today, I just loved it. Richa, what you said about uh, acceptance, not being judgmental, and we get what we already possess, already we have. That made a huge impact on me. So when we are manifesting, also we should believe that whatever we aspire is already with us. So that totally makes sense. And what Mansi said today about the masculine energy, the patriarchy, and the way she explained it, I just loved it. It all makes sense. This is the first time I'm listening to something like that. Great. And what Suman and Manish ji said also was fantastic. Totally loved it. And I just wanted to share something. Today in the morning, my cousin sent me a video of a temple in Hyderabad. And she asked me, do I know about it? So the popular assumption among my friends and family is that I'm very religious, in the sense I go to temples a lot and I know everything about temples. But the thing is, I visit temples as much as any person would do, who believes in God and all that. So I believe I'm more spiritual than religious. I don't follow all the rituals, or blindly follow anything which is said that this should be done, or this is good for that God. and this day is meant for this, and today you eat this, today you don't eat that. I think that is religion. I don't do that. I'm more spiritual. I believe more in the ethics and the values and the attitude. So I don't know from where they get this perception. So I believe it's the shares which I do in my status. That wherever I go, whatever I do, I put it in my status. So that gives the assumption that I'm very religious, but that is not true. The thing is, in India, I don't know about other countries. In India, if you want to go out, which is free, and morning and evening, like after your household work or thing is done, or you're going to your workplace or returning from workplace, uh, it is free. You don't have to pay, you don't need an appointment. That's a temple, and you get to mingle with people, with strangers you can talk. Hmm? People who are like minded, and they do certain things. There is no evilness there, that people don't talk anything bad or evil, and usually people come there, pray, and there is positivity. So maybe that is the reason I go. But apart from a temple, where else can we go? We can go to a movie, we can go to a hotel, we can go to a play area, park, walking. But I do all these things. I do all these things. I go to a pub, I go to the go for walking, trekking, everything I do. But the temple thing gets highlighted. Hmm. So I told my cousin, I don't know about this temple. Maybe it is there. I don't know. Never been there. Now that you have told me, I'll go and check it out. So that's it. So sometimes, even people who are our very close friends, our family, even they don't know anything about us. They have a totally wrong perception about us. Completely, what we are not, and that is what they have framed in their mind. So sometimes, that affects the relationship, that misunderstandings they have, misconceptions they have. So it's okay, and that leads to people being no, it causes body pain. Actually, it causes ego body pain. So it's okay, as long as we are not judgmental and we are not labeling people. This sort of body pain and ego doesn't happen. So for some time, a phase in my life, I was going through intense body pain, as the writer describes it here, and the ego issues I had. Now, in the past couple of years, I'm trying to overcome that and stay in a state of flow and bliss, and being committed to anything and everything I'm doing, as completely, as wholesomely, be in that flow as much as possible. And this book, the way the writer has expressed himself, is reiterating all these things. So certain things, it's hitting hard because we are experiencing it, we have gone through it, we have undergone that. So that is really intense. Yeah. So I told you about yesterday the toy thing, in my childhood we had, and it was broken by someone else because it was treasured for a special moment. And the special moment became someone else playing it and breaking it. And we never got to enjoy it. So certain things are meant to be that way. It's fine. But being in the present and believing whatever we want is already with us, and letting go, and not allowing someone else pain and suffering to come to us, or we don't allow our pain and suffering to pass on to anyone else. This requires intense practice, and that positivity is very important. So we have to work on it. And the thing that we the more we do for others, the less of that ego and the body pain we'll experience without any expectations. So that was also since we moved to this new colony. I've been doing that lot of things for the community and various people, whether it's acknowledged or not, whether people are thinking what is the ulterior motive I have in doing things for others. I've kept that aside, and that has helped me today. Today, when I went for morning swimming, there was no one in the pool. There was only one elderly person, and I was scared to enter. Then I found three ladies there. They were doing yoga just next to the pool. So they encouraged me, you go inside, we are there for you, we'll be there for you. So the intense knee pain I was experiencing, I wanted to walk in the water because that is the most holistic way of treating. So that is how the Brahmand has given me those three angels, to stand there as my guard and to support me. And I entered the pool and I did my 40 minutes of exercise. So although no one was there, there were people seeing me from the gym upstairs, and they are encouraged. So because I did good for them in some unknown way, the real good which I needed, I got it back. So that is how the universe works, how that is how the good things come back to you. It is not maybe in the form of wealth or the materialistic thing, the real thing which we need. Mm. If I don't do the swimming thing, then maybe the pain will aggravate and it will land up in that hospital and the injection thing and all that. So it's better to avoid all that, right? So when you do good, the good comes back to you, and that is how the healing the happens. You go overcome the pain and the ego issues. So that is what has been the big takeaway from this book. It has reinforces what I have been practicing and doing, and certain more things I've learned from this, like how stronger I have to be in the sense of being full of empathy, understanding, and letting go. Letting go, which doesn't resonate with what I feel, what I think. Just let go and let people have any assumptions, anything. It's fine. It is that thing. I'll not be judgmental. And if they are judgmental also, I should let it go. So what belongs to me belongs to me. What doesn't belong to me doesn't belong to me. So I just have to let go. So that is the learnings I've had from this book. And again, I repeat, I have not been part of this reading completely. Whatever parts I've been, I loved it. And I hope I can dedicate time on this and listen to the podcast along with the reading. Thank you, Mansi, and thank you everyone who has been part of this. I'm really grateful for this. You're all angels, as Pinaki sir says. I really understand the word angels today. Thank you, everyone.
See, that's how collective consciousness works, right? We are all adding to each other wisdom and supporting in so many different ways. Yeah, thank you. One thing I want to add, yesterday on the same alignment, I was reading a book. It says that, see, the water of the river is sweet and the water of the sea is salty, right? Because the sea is not moving; it is only accepting water from the river, and the water of the river is moving. When it is moving, it is sweeter because it is attracting the right energy to make that water sweet. But the water of the sea is not sweet. So the analogy is that sea is receiving the water from the river, and river is giving the water to the sea. So the person who is the giver is a most sweetest person, and we should never think of like receiving something that, okay, if I receive something, because that's not the way to get sweet. Sweet is always moving the right direction, believing your belief system and taking action. And action has the power over all your limitations. And actions come from your beliefs. The level of your belief determines the level of your taking action, and the same time the results. So we should be working like a river, like full of energy, moving, giving, and making ourselves sweet and others. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. From what I understand is nature has a balance, and we need to learn this balance of giving and receiving. Sometimes, some people are over givers and some people are over receivers. So I think we need to learn and strike the right balance, which is very important to keep the flow going within us. That's how it works, from my understanding. Because I have learned it the hard way that only giving doesn't help. You also have to be able to receive, and only receiving also doesn't help because you need to learn to give also. So
No,
it has to
one
be, and
thing,
that's how our hands are also, right? Like it's dedicated, like a right hand if you give, then left hand you should be able to receive as well. So you have to, so that the energy flows rightly, even in your body and everything. So there is a thing. Yeah, but I would
yeah,
insist, like since this is off our topic from the book, like I would insist if anyone else have to share something related to the learnings from the book or insights, I would insist give them a chance first. Then maybe later on, if we have time, we can elaborately discuss on this. So, yeah, anything else? Anyone want to share anything? Any takeaways? Any insights that resonated with them through this book? Shilpa, Rajesh, Nirmala, whoever have not spoken, have not spoken. Sorry. You want to add something? How was this experience, reading experience for you, Rajesh? How was it for you? You want to share something? Okay, I think. Okay, I
I,
think we don't have much to share
yeah,
then. Acha, okay, yeah. Hi, Rajesh. Yeah.
yeah, I was running. We started after we started this. Even yeah, I joined for this book. From this week only, I started joining the group reading. And one important takeaway thing when I was reading the 2 days back, we talk about a lot of about concentration and meditation. He make one sentence about be watcher, not a be watchman. Even I was talking to someone yesterday also, I shared this point. It's a very simple way, how we can, simple way to uh, encourage or do the meditation. Just don't think about anything. Just be a watcher of your breath in and out. And a lot of sharings from today's reading and yesterday's reading. I feel like I think after reading that Power of Now, again I have to read this book again to understand the true essence. Still, I'm lacking in that beginning parts. So I will read again this book to get to know more essence from this book. And thank you so much for all sharing. I love to hear each and every one of you. I think you made me to, I think the last afternoon I was running, but I did not feel like I think I ran. And uh, I was feeding a lot of thoughts and insights in my mind. Thank you so much, each and everyone, for making my day better and blissful. Over to you, Mansi.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for that sharing. In fact, yeah, that was that's the beauty, right? Like each one of us, although we read the same thing, we have such different takeaways and such different things highlight to each one of us, and that makes it even enriching when we discuss it all together. So all different points come up. That's very beautiful. Yeah, thank you for sharing that, Rajesh. And I would, whoever have missed the book now, I just want to say the one thing, like never be guilty of anything that you miss, because what I have understood is right things or what we need now comes to us at the right time. So whatever we needed to listen and learn, we got it like already. And sometimes even having too much of information, we are already so much overloaded with information in this world today, with YouTube and so many things. It's so easy accessible. It's important that we take in a little lesser and process that better, rather than having it like all received and not able to process it all, because it's like over digestion. It's like overeating, like digestion becomes difficult then. So it's okay to miss out on a certain things, when whatever you got, maybe that was meant for you. And I feel if you put out the right intention, and if you are very keen about understanding, just set up that intention that you want to read this book, and maybe you'll just get back to it again. Anyway, I feel this is something that we cannot like understand in one reading, so we will have to go back and reread it. And even like today also, like when we reread the 2 3 topics, there were some new points that highlighted for me that were not there, that I completely did not like maybe noticed yesterday. So it happens every time when we read the book, depending on what's going on in our life at that point. What are we more focused on? What are we able to understand at that point of time? So it's okay. It's always fun. go back to books and even read them on our own also at times. So that's just be okay. So yeah. Anyone else? Yeah. Shilpa, you want to share something? Anyone else wants to share something? Otherwise, we can close for today. Yeah. Deepa, you wanted to share something?
Yeah, I just wanted to tell everyone Monday and Tuesday will be the happiness project reading. So this also sort of aligns with the how to optimize ourselves and how to be at the peak of our goodness, happiness, and joy, and how to make the maximum out of it. So I encourage everyone to be part of that reading. It's just for 2 days. Most probably on Monday we'll finish it, and Tuesday we can have a discussion or the little bit of reading which will be left out. So only one chapter reading. It's just August we'll be reading. So thank you for all being there on Monday. I'm already thanking you because I believe all of you will be there.
Yes, yes, we will
And
be there. We're looking forward.
yeah, mm, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Shilpa, you want to share something? Otherwise, we're good to go then. Okay, I think Shilpa is not on a talking mode today. She's maybe on a listening mode. So it's okay then. I think we are all good. This was a wonderful, wonderful book and experience. I'll share the final podcast episode with all of you after this. And I would highly insist that go through the podcast at least once. Even if you have read the book or not read it, I feel the podcast will help you understand it better. Okay, am I not audible?
You are
Yeah,
audible.
you're audible, perfectly audible.
Okay, then Suman has written no voice, so I thought maybe I'm not audible or something. Okay. Okay, no problem. Then maybe she's having acha. Do you want to talk, Suman, and you are not audible? Then I think it
No, no,
happens.
no, no. Actually, I have not written. It is SU something who has written. I have not.
Okay, then
It's
Shilpa.
perfectly audible to me. Yeah, yeah.
Ah,
Oh,
okay, okay.
Shilpa.
Oh, yeah, because it is you, so I just missed it. Shilpa, I think okay. Maybe then you can type if you want to say something, or you can just because we're closing now, so no, relogging might not help. So just try once more. Like I don't know, you are on mute actually. So you'll have to unmute and try. Okay. Just see if possible. Otherwise, the
I
group
have
is
no
already
voice.
there. Acha, okay, okay. You are not well. Okay, no problem, no problem. Yeah, do take care. We'll send you healing. So you'll be fine. And do take care. No problem. You can. Anyone is. Or you all are free to share your insights in the group. Whatever takeaways you would like to share from the book so far, or anything, any highlights, anything, please do share, so that it will also encourage the others who have not been uh fortunate to be part of this reading because of time or whatever, so they will be inspired to read it and understand and go deeper into it later. So do that. So yeah. Okay, then I think we are good to go and have a wonderful, wonderful weekend every day, everyone. And see you all on Monday with the Happiness Project. Thank you. Bye bye. See you all. And also, meanwhile, we'll also decide on what to do next. Would you like to take a break? Because we have had some really deep readings in the last 1 month almost. Or would you like to continue with some lighter book after the Happiness Project? Is what I would want to understand.
Yeah,
Just
Mansi, I
that
just wanted one clarification. The online PDF version and and the print version, are they totally different or only in segments there is
no, I think
editing
no.
difference?
Only some parts are different. I guess. Richa, will you please share whatever is different from? Will Can you do that? Like just for everyone to understand. If there are some parts that are missing in the PDF, can
Maybe
you
one
just share?
chapter is added or edited, I think. Only one chapter,
Or
maybe.
at least
We
No,
had
mention?
that a couple of
chapter
days back.
chapter wise it was fine, but yeah, I think a couple of days ago in chapter 9, just one paragraph was different. So
Mm.
I can try to locate it and I can click a picture of it. I have the physical book.
Yeah. So wherever you find there is some addition in the physical book, do share that so that we can also go through it, like, and we can know. It will be an
Sure.
additional reading for us. Yeah. Yeah,
And
yeah.
the
And I
power
would
of
insist,
now.
if you are really liking this book, I would insist go for a hard copy and have it with you. Uh,
Mm.
because it's something we can like then slowly read and process, right? When we have a hard copy with us. So yeah.
And the power of now, what did you suggest? We are going to read it on our own and put our
Yeah, yeah.
learnings in the
We'll
group.
create
Is
a
that what you
group.
said?
Create a, no, no, yeah. We will create a group. Maybe today only I'll do it because it's 1st of August, na? So let's start from today. We will create a group and we will read it on our own. But we will meet like once a while for discussion. That period we will decide. Maybe we want to meet once a month or once a fortnight or what, how we want to do it. Maybe this time only we can keep, or let's see how it works. And we will just come together for discussing of our learnings and insight. But the reading we will do on our own because that book is more because what I have heard about it, I have not read it personally, but it is more about experiencing and doing, like experiencing that whatever the exercises or whatever the author has given, and it involves a lot of pauses and reflections as we read through. So that cannot happen if we read it in a group, and if we read it in a group like this, it will be treated very differently than how it is supposed to be read. So that is why we are not going to take it as a group reading like this, but we will hold accountability. We will sincerely try to read it on our own, at our own pace, at our own convenience, and we will just come together and share our insights and learnings. That's what the idea is. Let's see how it works. Like, we don't know, because it's also one of the drawback is what I have observed so far is when we just leave it for people to read, people fall back. They just somehow don't. End up doing it or getting taking out time and actually able people miss out on that. Many a times it happens because we are not in the flow of every day doing something together. But I think that is also one of the habit we should start building, right? Like, we cannot always depend on a group to read books. We need to develop this habit of reading on our own, and that's very important because that's a totally different experience as such. So we are going to start taking up some books now that are deep readings and that are good for individual readings also, because the core purpose is to encourage people to read more and more, and so that you pick up books of your choice and read. You just don't depend on a group to read. That is additional. So like some books like Conversations with God, there is a whole series of it, and it's very beautiful. I want to read it personally. I've read one or two of those. So that series, Power of Now, some books are meant to be read in a different, in more of a slow, peaceful state. So we should do that also. Let's see how we can do it together. So that accountability at least will help one another. So let's see. And we are open for any ideas and suggestions for that also. So let's see what we can do. Is that okay with everyone?
Yeah, that's great, Mansi.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah. Okay, then. Thank you, everyone. See you all on Monday, then. Bye bye. Happy weekend. Take care.
Yeah, bye.
Thank you. Same to you. Bye.